It's costly and it's timely. And these people know how to manipulate the system.
Right now on Apple Valley News Now, live in prime time.
What seems like an ordinary home sale is anything but. Our Caleb Stipkovitz talks with a woman who says her asking price for a West Richland home is lower so the new buyer can start an eviction process.
Then, 2 students arrested at Southridge High School, how Kennewick police tracked down the bomb threat suspects, and what they had to say. Also ahead.
And because of this, many of our operations are impacted.
A new Homeland Security video sparks controversy, why several airports say they won't show it.
And Stacy, how's it looking weather-wise?
Well, Austin and Wendy, we had rain, we had snow in the mountains, and we've got freezing temperatures tonight. I'll give you your full weather forecast. The news in prime time starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now, prime time on your side.
And a very good Monday evening. Thank you for joining us after the Bears and Commanders game. I'm Austin Reed.
And I'm Wendy Redman. It is October the 13th.
Selling your home is never easy. For some people, it can take years or months to find the right buyer.
But what if that home came with some unwanted people already living there? A woman is running into that problem trying to sell a West Richland home and even lowering the asking price so the potential buyer can use the money saved to evict the people already living there.
Fresh in prime time, Apple Valley News Now's Caleb Stipkovitz tries to get to the bottom of this bizarre story, but exactly who is on the right side of the law, a little murky.
This is me earlier knocking on the door of a West Richland home. Now this home is currently for sale, and any potential buyer should know that before purchasing they might be getting some extra roommates. Jill Dixon is trying to sell a home in West Richland that used to belong to her mother.
I moved back from Astoria, Oregon, and lived and took care of my mom full-time for 2 years. It was her house.
The home sits just off Bombing Range Road, and her original asking price was just over $437,000. But what seems like an ordinary home for sale is anything but. Apple Valley News Now was alerted to this social media post from Dixon, saying that she is now lowering the price by $37,000 because the potential buyer will need to spend money in order to get the current people living there evicted.
Basically, I'll probably walk away with no money out of this.
The problem is, the people living there happen to be members of Dixon's own family. They moved in shortly after Dixon's mother moved out, and now they won't leave the property. Dixon says the house belonged to her mother, who has since passed away. And as executor of her mother's estate, Dixon says she is to sell the property and divide it up amongst her siblings, and grandchildren. But getting people out of the home has been difficult.
I have spent over $70,000 on lawyer fees. What do? I was trying to sell the house as is, unseen, with the squatter. This is not a abnormal situation. Unfortunately, Washington State caters to the squatter.
Ariel Hayes owns Skyview Realty in Kennewick. She says cases like Dixon's, while unusual, do happen, even with complete strangers. But there are ways to protect your property when you are looking to buy or sell.
If you're a homeowner, and let's say you don't live in the area, you want to be sure that you have a friend or a family member that's watching your property. If you are going to consider renting out your property, I do recommend that you consider professional property management.
Across the country, people are finding new ways to gain what is commonly called squatters' rights. This can include moving in while someone is on vacation or creating a fake lease agreement, which Hayes says can be confusing for law enforcement. Renters and buyers can also fall victim to squatters, who will sometimes pose as the owner of a home for sale or rent online. In Washington State, there are certain criteria that a so-called squatter must meet to continue living on a property they have taken possession of, and we'll have those requirements listed at applevalleyNewsNow.com. In order to hear the other side of the story, we decided to pay a visit to Dixon's mother's property in West Richland. While it was apparent to us that people were home, they didn't want to talk. And in this case, it's unclear if the people are on the property illegally or legally. But Dixon is hoping any potential buyer will be able to afford the eviction of her family members. As for getting someone officially evicted, it's not as easy as just calling the police. Often, police can't get involved in cases like Dixon's.
That is a really tricky issue because the police are not legal experts. They're not there to judge the validity of the lease being real or not real. So, I mean, my best advice would be somebody's going to need to talk to an attorney.
Currently, the property is in pre-foreclosure and is set to be auctioned off in December. Dixon is hoping to find a buyer before then. Reporting in West Richland, Caleb Stipkovitz, Apple Valley News Now.
All right, Caleb, thank you. We'll continue to keep you updated on this story, including if the people currently living in the home will want to tell their side of the story. Now, there are ways you can protect your property in situations like this. We will have that at applevalleynewsnow.com right after this newscast. All right. Time to talk weather.
Yes.
A lot going on.
We need to talk weather because, man, we had a little bit of rain roll through, and now we potentially talking about frost.
I think so. Stacey Lee joining us back from New England.
That's right.
Welcome back.
The weather there was lovely, guys. 70s, 80s, low 80s. It was just beautiful. But now I got out of there in the nick of time as they have a nor'easter. And I come home and we have our first snow of the season across the Cascade Mountains. We even had Blewett Pass closed this morning due to snow. Outside right now, 51 degrees, partly cloudy. Winds are light at 7. Our sunset tonight was at 6:13, getting dark much earlier. Temperatures holding steady in the 40s and 50s, except for the mountains. Look at that. We're at freezing already at White Pass. Tollgate down to 36. And speaking of freezing, we have some cold alerts in place, including frost advisories up towards Vantage, Mattawa, and George. And then we have freeze warnings all through the foothills of the Blues and in the Kittitas Valley tonight. Check out some of these overnight lows for Ellensburg, down below freezing through Wednesday, and then things will start to warm up. We're cool again in Pendleton for the next couple of nights as well. Also Yakima down below freezing. So time to start winterizing. Think about blowing those pipes out. Here's what it looks like in the morning out the door. 50s by the middle of the day, 50s and 60s in the afternoon. So much cooler than normal. So that freeze warning stays there, mild and seasonal. Mountain showers move back in later this week, and then we'll see some showers possible this weekend in the lower elevations. Austin, Wendy.
Stacey, thanks. Now to a crime alert out of Cooley Dam. A 5th grade teacher at Lake Roosevelt Elementary School is in jail tonight after being charged for communicating with a minor for immoral purposes. According to the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office, 42-year-old Ross Ashenfelter was arrested just before noon after an investigation led to a sting operation at the school. Now, he was there doing administrative work, but was later booked into the Kittitas County Jail. The investigation is ongoing, and anyone with any information is asked to contact the Sheriff's Office.
Kennewick police say 2 students at Southridge High are now facing charges for threats to bomb the school today. Both students reportedly told authorities they were joking. According to KDP, this all began when a student told school security and the school resource officer they heard another student had a bomb in their backpack and had made threats to blow up the school. KDP says that student was contacted and the investigation led to another student who is found to have made the same threats. KDP confirms no bombs were found and both students were arrested.
A new video is stirring controversy from the Department of Homeland Security featuring Secretary Kristi Noem.
And because of this, many of our operations are impacted.
It blames congressional Democrats for the government shutdown, and several major U.S. airports are refusing to show it to the flying public. A polished video you just saw there was a message from Noem. It was intended to air at TSA checkpoints across the country, laying blame on Democrats for flight delays tied to the ongoing shutdown. But in cities like Portland, Seattle, and LA, they have decided to run the video. They've decided not to run the video, I should say. They're citing concerns over its political content and legal restrictions. Now, we checked in with the Tri-Cities Airport, where passengers will not be seeing the video, but that's not because of politics.
We don't have the ability to do the digital messaging that some airports do. We don't have the ability, so we're not able to show any videos of any type throughout the airport. There's nothing political about what we are doing at the Tri-Cities Airport. We do not have the ability to show the video.
As for the Yakima Airport, airport officials tell us they aren't showing the video as well, adding that the only media playing on the TVs in the terminal there are advertisements provided through ad partner Be Bold.
The state of Washington agreed not to enforce a new law that would have required Catholic priests to report confessions, even if it meant breaking their sacred vow of confidentiality. The agreement ends a federal lawsuit filed by the state's Catholic bishops earlier this year.
And new in prime time now, our very own Dan Hansen explains how the decision is being seen as both a win for religious freedom and a reminder of the shared goal to protect kids.
Washington's clergy reporting law was set to take effect in late July until a federal court blocked it, ruling it would force Catholic priests to break their sacred vows of confidentiality. Senate Bill 5375 passed by margins of 64 to 31 in the House and 28 to 20 in the Senate early this summer. The law would have required clergy to report information heard during confession, a rule church leaders said violated a sacrament dating back centuries.
It tells Catholics that the seal of confession has been safeguarded, but also that the Catholic Church remains steadfast in its message that we want to create safe environments for everybody, for our children, our youth, and our vulnerable adults.
The lawsuit was filed by the Diocese of Yakima and Spokane and the Archdiocese of Seattle. Attorneys with the First Liberty Institute and Becket represented the bishops, arguing the law unfairly targeted priests while allowing lawyers and other professionals to keep similar information confidential.
The state of Washington, of course, has an interest in protecting children. That's an interest that's shared by our clients, the Catholic Church, and no issue with the mandatory reporter provisions of the law, so long as the one very specific instance of sacramental confession was respected.
Moat says both sides, mandatory reporting and the seal of confession, can coexist. Church leaders say they remain committed to child safety through its mandatory reporting policies. We reached out to one of the bill's sponsors, Democrat State Senator Noelle Framer from the 36th District, for comment. In a statement to Apple Valley News Now, she said, "My goal all along with this bill has just been to protect children, and I hope that closing the book on this lawsuit allows for that to happen. Children need to know when they go to a trusted adult in their life to ask for help, like a member of the clergy, they get help. That's how we break the cycle of abuse and do better by our next generation." Church leaders say they're grateful the state chose to protect both religious freedom and children, adding they'll continue working with lawmakers to strengthen abuse prevention laws without violating the sacrament of confession. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
The Washington Catholic Conference says it's grateful for the state's decision and hopes this case sets a precedent for how religious rights and child safety can coexist.
And they add that churches across the state will continue training clergy and volunteers to recognize and report abuse while keeping the seal of confession intact.
A local nonprofit is putting a sweet twist on a community favorite, and it's all for a good cause. Mirror Ministries is gearing up for its annual Candyland Run. That's November 1st on Candy Mountain, one of its 3 big fundraisers each year. The race is inspired by the classic board game, featuring costume volunteers, candy-themed pit stops, and signs along the trail that teach kids how to recognize manipulation and coercion to help prevent child exploitation. Participants can choose between 3 routes: the gumdrop loop, the chocolate route, and the licorice trail, with a new ruck challenge this year for those up for a tougher trail.
You know, the aid stations you get along the trails where they give you water. Well, in ours, we give you water, sometimes Gatorade, and then always candy.
There you go. Registration for the Candyland Run is open through race day. Parking for the event will be at the Bethel Church in Richland.
Our news in prime time is just getting started. Up next, shell casings and a loaded magazine left in a Yakima alley, the shooting investigation that ended with an arrest, and 2 smashed up Yakima police cars.
Those details, and Stacy's coming back with the full details on your first alert weather forecast as we leave you with these beautiful looks outside around our region. Hey, make sure you scan that QR code as well on the side of your screen there to get the Apple Valley News Now weather app. We'll be right back.
Tuesdays are my favorite day of the week because the single Papa Burger combos are just $5.99. And I wait all week for this.
And so do I.
And that's why I always get two.
The Tuesday Special at A&W.
Lung disease is very difficult to live with in many ways, and our goal here is to truly live the mission of Good Shepherd, which is patients first, always. Our pulmonology and sleep medicine team is here for you. We're here to provide you world-class care. Please contact us and come to see us. It will be our privilege to serve you.
Good Shepherd Healthcare System. Patients first, always.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos, it's The Educated Cigar. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado, it's The Educated Cigar. For 200 accessories, including dozens of humidors and fine pipes, it's The Educated Cigar. At The Educated Cigar, you can enjoy your favorite adult beverage and food from the on-site bar and restaurant while smoking and viewing the big game. Family owned and operated since 1998, open 7 days a week.
We wanted to switch to T-Mobile to make sure that we have better coverage.
T-Mobile is now the best network. And with T-Satellite, we're connecting millions of people in places no carrier tower can reach.
I signed up for T-Satellite to give me peace of mind as a mom that makes life better knowing that it's there when we need it.
Upgrade to the best network. Right now, T-Mobile will pay off 4 phones up to $3,200. Plus, hook you up with 4 new phones on us. Switch today.
This river wasn't dammed in a day, and GMC trucks weren't built overnight. Like every American achievement, they are a result of dedication. Over 100 years dedicated to the art of engineering and the ambition to always move this country forward. Get 0% APR plus no monthly payments until next year on select Sierra 1500 models. We are professional grade.
Chevy makes America's most dependable trucks, like the rugged Colorado, the highly capable Silverado 1500, the powerful Silverado HD, and the uncompromising Silverado EV. In every Chevy truck, dependability comes standard.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on all Silverado 1500 models.
See your community Chevy dealers.
It's hump day, and you know what that means. Hello, Country Fried Steak. Get a delicious meal for just $5.99 to make your Wednesday feel like the weekend. Yes, Wednesdays only, Country Fried Steak is just $5.99. Happy hump day from KFC.
This newscast sponsored by Walker's Furniture and Mattress.
Our news in prime time continues. A man in Yakima is under arrest and facing multiple pending charges. This after a shooting that occurred last night. According to YPD, around 7 p.m., they were called right near 300 West Yakima in regards to gunshots.
When officers arrived, they say they noticed a crime scene in the alleyway with numerous shell casings and a loaded live magazine. The officers say witnesses gave them a description of the suspect and found him. At one point, they say he tried to run from police when officers were asking him questions.
While YPD is on a suspect pursuit now, they do have a message for the public.
They should stay away. If they see something, go ahead and report it to 911, but overall, stay away. Don't get involved in the incident, especially involving a firearm. We don't know where this guy's mind's at. Officers did describe after they placed him into custody that he was acting a little erratic, understandably so. But truly just stay out of the area. Don't try to talk to the cops. If you have any information to pass on, please call 911, and then they will relay that over the radio to the officers.
When officers arrived at the scene, they say they began to chase the armed suspects and kicked up their speed. When an officer turned into a parking lot, he apparently didn't see another patrol car, leading to a crash. Officials say no one was hurt, including the suspect.
Well, across Yakima County, a pressing crisis is unfolding, a crisis tied to addiction and the urgent need for care. Triumph Treatment Services is stepping forward to start a conversation about something vital, a medical detox center in Yakima County.
Apple Valley News Now's Monique Garcia shares the story behind the need and the hope for this critical treatment.
Imagine struggling with addiction to fentanyl.
a substance so powerful and dangerous that it claims lives at an alarming rate in Yakima County, the highest per capita overdose rate in Washington state. According to Washington State Department of Health, Yakima County reported 112 fatal opioid overdoses and nearly 700 non-fatal overdoses in 2024 alone.
People in Yakima County deserve to have this transformational change to access care where they live. They desperately need the support.
Dr. Simmons says the stigma is a huge barrier for accessing treatment because people do view people as just being a drug addict, and they don't see that this is really an illness that has altered the chemistry which affects everyone who has used any sort of addictive drug.
The moment someone puts that substance in their body, it alters their brain chemistry and it creates that illness. And they are now stuck with this illness of substance use. And they don't want to be addicted any more than their family member wants them to be addicted.
Dr. Jamie Simmons says, when it comes to medical detox for those fighting addiction, it's not just about stopping use. It's about medically monitored withdrawal, managing intense symptoms, and providing medications to ease the journey. But right now, Yakima County does not have a medical detox center. The social detox options available offer some support, but lack the medications needed to safely get through withdrawal.
The closest medical detox is over 100 miles away, which is an undue burden for someone who's actively struggling with addiction and maybe starting to go through the symptoms of withdrawal while they're trying to access these services.
This gap poses a serious challenge because fentanyl addiction is a life-threatening disease that needs specialized care and support. In 2023, nearly 90% of individuals discharged from local hospitals after an overdose did not receive follow-up treatment.
It is such a powerful substance, it is almost impossible for them to refrain from the use of it until they go through a treatment like medically monitored withdrawal management, have someone to support them through the detox process, and then go into some form of treatment.
Turning this hope into reality requires more than medical staff. It requires the county's support and funding. Reporting in Yakima, Monique Garcia, Apple Valley News Now.
All right, Monique, with this support, Triumph is ready to lead the way and give Yakima County the care it urgently needs. Triumph stands ready to work with the county as well to establish a medical detox center. Wendy.
The Yakima Police Department is inviting the community to talk public safety, and they're taking the conversation to neighborhood centers across the city. It's all part of a series called Your City, Your Safety. YPD is hosting 3 town halls this week, focusing on crime trends, response times, and community concerns. The first meeting was earlier tonight. Tomorrow, there will be 2 sessions at the Harmon Center from 10:30 a.m. until noon. The final town hall is October 15th at 6 p.m. That's at the Washington Fruit Community Center.
It was one more way that we can engage with the community. And at the end, our plan is to break up and talk. You'll have the detective division, we'll have the officers, the community service officers will be there, we'll have our traffic division. Just encourage people to come out and hear about the things that our officers are doing, share with us what they think we're doing well, share with us what we can improve on.
All meetings are free and open to the public.
Well, as temperatures drop across the Tri-Cities and Yakima Valley, even Walla Walla, of course, many families are turning to space heaters to stay warm. But firefighters say these devices can be dangerous if not used properly. One of the biggest mistakes people make is putting space heaters too close to flammable items like curtains, bedding, or furniture. And they should always be plugged directly into the wall, not an extension cord.
3 feet is a good rule of thumb, having 3 feet of space all around the space heater, keeping it out of an exit pathway so that if the people inside the space were leaving, that they wouldn't knock it over, where an animal wouldn't knock it over. Flat surface is another important one.
Hefner adds that families with children should be extra careful about where they place heaters and never leave them running unattended. He says as we head into the colder months, a few simple safety steps can go a long way.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
And you might want to get the dust off the coils as well. All right, Biomark Skycam at Tanum Ridge in Yakima tonight. We see clear skies out there. 46 though, chilly. Dew point at 36 degrees. Our feels like temp is 42, and those temperatures will continue to drop tonight. Winds were gusty a little earlier, but things have calmed down significantly through the area. However, we're going to see those winds start to pick up once again tomorrow morning, a little breezy through the Columbia Basin. And then as we get to about 9 o'clock, those winds again start to push down from the north and the east, bringing that cool air down from Canada. And some of those winds will spread through about the middle of the day. Things will calm down, though, by early evening. So get ready for a little bit windy, and those cold temperatures, or feels like temperatures tomorrow, are going to be on the chilly side. The weather pattern has kind of shifted to the south. There are some showers moving in from the southwest. Now, we could see a few wraparound showers out of that, and we see it on our futurecast as we move through the day tomorrow. A few pop-up showers, again, mainly here in the foothills of the Blues. As the day progresses, we could see a little bit of rain heading towards the Pendleton area toll gate, and then later on in the Palouse near Pullman. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies and clearing. We should stay dry most everywhere else. Now, there are freeze alerts, freeze warnings, and frost advisories all through the region tonight in the Blues, northeastern Oregon, down around Goldendale, up through Toppenish and the Kittitas Valley. So be aware of that. Plants, pipes, and pets. We got to keep those 3 P's in mind. Temperatures staying below our average of 68. Warming up on Friday. There will be a ridge of high pressure moving in after we get done with this cold front. In Yakima, temperatures will warm up to just below average, but a little bit on the cool side tomorrow, about 5 degrees below the average. For tonight, there's your overnight lows. Some of us down to freezing, some of us just barely above freezing. Hermiston, Tri-Cities, Hanford, but you get into Ellensburg, Yakima, and Sunnyside. Very chilly there tonight, as well as folks here in the foothills of the Blues from Pendleton to Dayton. Let's talk that 7-day planning forecast. Here we have those 60s during the day. Again, high pressure building, so you'll have mostly sunny skies. Temperatures chilly for the next couple of nights, those breezy winds. Best chance for seeing some rain is on Sunday. We're tracking another system that will be moving in. For Yakima, we stay in the 60s with those chilly overnight lows, with everyone warming up Friday, Saturday, and then that front moves in on Sunday. Here's what it looks like in Ellensburg. Those breezy winds. Look at those chilly lows down to 28 degrees tomorrow night, 31 on Wednesday into Thursday, and then those gusty winds picking up on Friday in the Kittitas Valley. Walla Walla, 50s and 60s. Breezy winds developing there on Friday with a chance of showers on Sunday. And in Hermiston, we'll see mostly sunny skies, pretty mild temperatures, just slightly below the average for this time of year. It's time to start thinking about winterizing all of those toys, boats. What else do you need to winterize? There's anything that has water in it.
Your sprinklers.
Sprinkler blowouts.
Yes.
That should be coming up as well.
Tis the season. I'm not ready to hear you say the words freezing and frost
and winterize.
And winterize.
Someone posted a photo and said, look at our fall foliage. It was snow in the Cascades.
Oh, yeah.
Skipping right over that.
I left the fall foliage of New England to come back to snow in our mountains. So there you go.
What a change, right?
What a change.
All right. Well, still ahead here on the news, how the Toppenish School District is stepping closer to clean energy, and it's not just about saving money. We'll explain.
Board-certified family medicine provider Dr. Jonathan Fox is now welcoming patients of all ages at Prosser Memorial Health's Prosser Clinic. Dr. Fox provides care you can count on, including wellness exams for adults and children, women's health, mental health services, and chronic disease management. To schedule your appointment with Dr. Fox, call 509-786-1576 or visit prosserhealth.org. Prosser Memorial Health. This is how we care.
Locally owned and operated, Fable has quickly become one of the Tri-Cities' favorite dining destinations for lunch, brunch, and dinner. Now offering breakfast 7 days a week starting at 7 a.m. Farm to table, savory to sweet, and everything in between. Fable Craft Bar, your all-day dining destination starting with breakfast at 7 a.m. 7 days a week. On the river, north end of Columbia Center Boulevard.
Injured in a car wreck or slip and fall? We're right here, your neighbors, your lawyers, fighting for you. Call the local experienced team who cares. Call the home team, where you meet your attorney in person. When you need help, hire the home team who fights for you. More cash for your crash. Capuzzo Lighty, accident injury lawyers. Local, experienced, ready to fight for you.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos, it's The Educated Cigar. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado, it's The Educated Cigar. For 200 accessories, including dozens of humidors and fine pipes, it's The Educated Cigar. At The Educated Cigar, you can enjoy your favorite adult beverage and food from the on-site bar and restaurant while smoking and viewing the big game. Family owned and operated since 1998, open 7 days a week.
Life happens. Lucky for you, ICCU has a new kind of checking account that comes with benefits that help you life better. Because being human is a full-time job.
Legacy lives in the people who've made this place home. For decades, Hapo and Community First Bank have been part of that legacy. Different names, same mission, invested in every relationship. We're coming together to keep building what matters. Because legacy doesn't end. It lives on in every loan, every dream, every member helped.
Hi, welcome to Hapo.
Thanks for watching the news in prime time. Well, Valley View Elementary in Toppenish is investing in clean energy, one that district leaders say will not only save money, but also help the community in times of need.
Apple Valley News Now's William Albert shows us how this project is helping power the future for the district.
Valley View Elementary in the Toppenish School District is undergoing a clean energy makeover as part of a push to make older school buildings like Valley View more energy efficient and environmentally friendly. This effort aims to comply with EPA Energy Use Index standards, keeping the building's energy use below 45. The district received grant funding through the Department of Commerce to install solar panels and a large battery storage system on campus to help mitigate energy use. Officials say it's all part of meeting new energy use standards and cutting utility costs.
And we've already fulfilled part of the grants, which covered the LED light installations. That part of the grant was done in June of 2025, so just a couple months back. And then they actually started installing the solar panels last week. So it's supposed to happen. The full installation process for the solar panels should happen over the course of a couple of weeks. And then we anticipate that later this spring is when the actual the battery pack will be delivered.
The new system will help the school store energy during the day and send it back to the grid when not in use. But district leaders say it will also play an important role during emergencies.
We'll also create a center, a hub during emergencies, so that we have ongoing power in the event that there were, really large scale power outages that took out a large portion of the grid that covered this area.
Toppenish School District officials tell me that this project not only benefits the district, but the community at large. And recently, Washington State senators came to Toppenish to see the progress being made on the project.
Last month, we actually had 3 senators and 9 of their staff members join us. And they joined us to just kind of hear about the innovative ways that Toppenish School District is approaching clean energy buildings and schools. And one of those ways is the solar battery unit, and then some of these LED lights that we're talking about, some of those retrofits, the clean school bus.
Capel says the project also comes at a crucial time as energy costs continue to rise across the district.
There's a rising rate of utilities. It's been rising very rapidly. So for example, from the school year 23-24 to last year, 24-25, there was a 27% increase in utilities related expenses for electricity alone.
The district says the clean energy upgrades are good for both the district and the community, powering forward together. In Toppenish, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
William, thanks. The solar panel installation is expected to be completed in the coming weeks, and the battery system is scheduled to arrive this spring.
A very important signing. That's how President Trump described the Gaza ceasefire deal he and Middle East regional leaders signed today. The moment came as part of a summit held in Egypt. As the president signed the documents, he said the ceasefire agreement would hold up. The president thanked his staff and aides as well as the countries represented at the summit. He said he thought it would be the, quote, toughest deal to accomplish. It is unclear exactly what was in the document the leaders signed. Earlier today, all 20 living Israeli hostages held by Hamas in Gaza were freed.
Still ahead on your news in prime time, Seattle taking command of the ALCS with back-to-back wins. Your Mariners update is next.
Operation Best Friend, sponsored by the Manthei Group Cross Country Mortgage.
Tuesdays are my favorite day of the week because the single Papa Burger combos are just $5.99. And I wait all week for this.
And so do I.
And that's why I always get two.
The Tuesday Special at A&W.
Lifetime Dental is committed to providing the best dental care in the Tri-Cities by treating patients like family, as well as providing a healthy work-life balance for the team. Hear what their doctors have to say.
I think developing that relationship with a patient is where you get the trust. And then with the trust is when you can really kind of build on these treatment plans and provide the best care for them so that the outcome is most predictable and that they're the most satisfied. I think my passion kind of more stems from the problem-solving aspect of dentistry. So I really like getting complex patients that need a lot of different needs and kind of figuring out a plan that incorporates like good dentistry to kind of solve their problems. I think I just get that emotional recharge from just kind of spending quality time with family. So my two girls and then my wife. So we try and get out of the house and get up in the mountains or go to the beach and just kind of do quality things together. And that's kind of where I get my most recharge from, for sure.
Lifetime Dental Care, located at Queensgate, voted best dentist in the Tri-Cities 9 times.
Save like you mean it at Meredith Furniture right now. Get $500 off stressless wing recliners in all Paloma leather colors. Plus, get Paloma leather special pricing on design coordinating stressless Manhattan, stressless Oslo, and stressless Flora sofas and love seats. Don't miss out. Shop Meredith Furniture at First and Washington in front of Hobby Lobby.
My name is Jaime Torres. I am a human rights activist, differently abled artist, disability rights advocate. I use the Ben Franklin Transit Paratransit Service, which here is called Dollaride. I'm learning how to live life again. I'm learning how to do things again. So being able to get out and have reliable transportation, it plays an integral part in mental health and the practice of being social again.
Prosser Memorial Health has received a 5-star rating from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Prosser Memorial Health is one of just 290 hospitals nationwide to receive their highest rating, and one of only 2 critical access hospitals in the state of Washington. For over 78 years, Prosser Memorial Health has provided high-quality and compassionate care to our communities served. It's our privilege. Learn more at prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
It's hump day, and you know what that means. Hello, Country Fried Steak. Get a delicious meal for just $5.99 to make your Wednesday feel like the weekend. Yes, Wednesday's only Country Fried Steak is just $5.99. Happy hump day from KFC.
We really appreciate Apple Valley News Now.
I know when I turn it on, if there's something that I've heard about in the community, I'm going to hear it from you guys.
Apple Valley News Now has been able to cover some of the Hermiston events.
When I get up in the morning, that's the first thing I do is Apple Valley News. I know I'm going to get what I need for the day.
I eat breakfast with you. I eat dinner with you guys.
It's more a part of our community.
It keeps me connected to my community.
It's what we enjoy.
It's probably the only station that we watch.
Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Welcome back, everybody. The Mariners carried the momentum of their 15-inning division series clincher into another memorable October night. The Mariners returned to the ALCS for the first time since 2001 And boy, did they take advantage of it.
Oh, you darn right they did. Seattle erased Toronto's home field advantage with a 3-1 win in Game 1. The M's kept that energy rolling in Game 2, blowing out the Blue Jays 10-3, thanks to home runs from Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, and Josh Naylor.
That's right. That win put Seattle just 2 wins away from its first ever World Series appearance. And what makes it even sweeter is they'll be back at home at T-Mobile Park for the next 3 games. I'm doing the cross the fingers thing, guys.
Yep, the Mariners and Blue Jays will have Tuesday off before Game 3 Wednesday night.
So let's get you ready. First pitch set for 5:08 p.m. at T-Mobile Park.
That's right. So you got to do this because, you know, they're very superstitious in baseball. There's a lot of superstitions around it. So just don't do
like
both.
that.
Well, I can't even do this.
You can't even do it on
This hand still doesn't work, but anyway.
Still recovering.
Still recovering. All right, let's take a look at our reason to smile. Look at that photo from Chuck Lawless Jr.
Crazy colors.
Yeah, beautiful. That's River Cruise Fire just taken back on the 9th. So beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Chuck. QR code, top of your screen. That's how you get that photo on TV. Thanks to our friends at Lifetime Dental. Real quick, look at tomorrow. Going to be a cold one out the door. Time to start getting out the hats, the scarves, and the gloves for the kids at the bus stop, for sure, in the morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Layers.
Layers. We're layering.
So many layers. And then it's time to keep them on for me.
That's right.
Layers and keep them on. Yes. All right. Well, that'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us.
Hoping your news is good news.
Have a great night.